Hello and welcome to Science of Cooking with the Indus Valley. I'm Madhumitha, one of the founders of the company. Today we're going to understand a big buzzword, gluten. We all talk about it, but do we really understand what it is? We'll understand the science behind gluten. Is it good for you or is it bad for you? And we'll determine how to add it to our food and ensure we get all of its benefits. Dive right in. So what exactly is gluten? Gluten is a protein that is found in barley, wheat and rye. It is mainly constructed of two main proteins, which is glutenin and gliadin. These two proteins ensure that it gives that very typical elasticity to wheat and maida. Let's say you're making rotis or chapatis, you knead it with water and salt. It gives a very good texture of elasticity which helps you roll the dough into good circles. Imagine naan without gluten. I cannot. It would be hard and dense instead of light and fluffy. Let's understand the sources of gluten. In Indian cuisine, any wheat or barley based food will have gluten in it. So typical examples of wheat based food are chapatis, rotis, naan, phulka, breads and more. Another example of foods that contain barley are sauces, soups and a lot of many other processed food. Chances are very high that our typical daily meal that we serve for our loved ones has gluten in it. Let's understand the benefits of gluten. Gluten is a very good source of protein for vegetarians. It helps to add iron, calcium and vitamin B to our food. It adds elasticity to the dough. It helps us create fluffy, soft chapatis and rotis. Without it, it would be really hard and dense. Gluten has a lot of good things to offer. Let's also understand the disadvantages of eating gluten. Gluten does have its disadvantages. Gluten may cause a lot of issues for people with celiac disorder. This is basically gluten allergy. The body is not able to assimilate the gluten due to an autoimmune condition. For them, gluten is a big no. Whereas there is a large part of the Indian population that has sensitivity towards gluten. It might cause bloating, and discomfort in the stomach and so on. If that is the case, do consult a doctor and figure out the best diet for you. Let's understand gluten-free and if it is good for you. Gluten-free is definitely a good option for people who have gluten sensitivities or celiac disease, as they cannot consume any gluten. However, the gluten-free options can be very expensive, taste less nice, or they could definitely be having a lot of preservatives and chemicals. If you do not have any allergy to gluten, it is definitely good to add it into your diet as it contributes a lot of important vitamins and minerals to your food. Let's understand the science behind gluten and how it helps us to make soft chapatis. In order to make chapati batter, we would typically take atta and salt and knead it with the sufficient amount of water. As the atta is kneaded, the two proteins, gluten and gliadin, will combine to form gluten. This gluten molecule is a very good elastic molecule which helps to trap a lot of air and moisture into the batter. You must have noticed that once the batter is kneaded and let aside for 10 to 15 minutes, it typically rises. This is because of the air molecules that are trapped thanks to the gluten. It gives this very nice chewy texture once the roti is cooked. Without gluten in the roti, it would be very hard and crumbly, not like how we typically like it, very soft and fluffy. A pro tip for you to consider is to knead the dough and leave it aside for 15 to 20 minutes and cover it with a wet cloth. What this will do is allow the gluten to absorb all the moisture and air and become nice and fluffy, which in turn will result in very tasty chapatis for you at home. In conclusion, gluten is nothing to be scared of. It's just the protein that is found in barley, wheat and rye, which contributes to the wonderful flavor and fluffy texture of rotis. If you have no major medical condition that tells you to avoid gluten, go ahead and enjoy the lovely rotis. Do definitely like the video, share it with a friend, and check out more videos on our channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button. We'll make more such interesting videos on the science of cooking for you. Thank you.